Hi everybody, welcome to UK Gaming Network, and on this special day where we are celebrating the release of this new console here, the Xbox Series X. Ours arrived this morning, and I've been messing around with it for the afternoon, and I thought it'd be good to live stream a look at the new console, some of the games, some of the features, and discuss it with my colleague UKGN Pad. Good evening, Pad.
Hello.
And how are you, Pad?
Good. Waiting for this, to be honest. Been waiting for this all
That's
day.
good.
You've been teasing me with it.
So, well, let's get on with it then. While I'm still on camera, let's talk about. Let's just show you this, which is the new controller. It is pretty much exactly the same as the existing Xbox One controller, just there's a couple of little differences. It's got a button right in the middle here, which is a share button, which you can just tap for a screenshot or hold down to record. So none of this having to go back into the dashboard to do that. It's got a new D-pad, which is a bit like the one on the Xbox Elite controller. But other than that, it is exactly the same, apart from it has a little bit of a rough texture on the back for helping grip. But seeing as the Xbox controller was, in my opinion, the best controller that around at the moment, that's not really a problem for me. And keeping things similar is very much a design decision on this entire console, I think, because as you can see, the dashboard itself is exactly the same, apart from it has new swirly patterns in the background.
New swirly patterns in the background.
Yeah, which I'm guessing is going to be Microsoft's way of being able to add themes in a similar way to the PS4, in the way that like when you pre-ordered a game, you got a free theme for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do things like that with future games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't really see it. Oh, now it's just popped up on my screen.
But yeah, so
just see it. So it looks very similar.
So yeah, the dashboard is exactly the same as the Xbox One dashboard. Just
yeah.
Obviously it's a bit smoother now.
I've noticed that you've got Forza 4 upgrading and Dirt 5 is queued. When did you actually plug your console in?
Plugged it in about 12:30, 1 o'clock today.
Okay, and it's been doing updates since then, I take it?
It's been doing a few updates since then, yes.
Was there a system update?
It did a system update, which as you set the console up, you can actually do all that via the app on your phone while the console is upgrading. So you don't have to let the console do its updates and then go through the rigmarole of putting in all your passwords and email addresses and setting up what all your console preferences are. So that made the whole setup process a little bit quicker. And then once you're in, I have actually plugged in my existing external hard drive, so all of my games are still here that were on my Xbox One yesterday.
Yeah.
And what I did was I copied the ones that are enhanced on the Series X across to the internal hard drive. Because when you go to the games list, you can actually do it and select an option which is grouped by console type, and that will then list all the games that are optimized for Series X at the top.
Okay, because I'm actually looking at this on a delay, because I'm actually watching the stream while talking to you. When you go into the new menus, if you could just tell me when you're going into something, because at the moment I was then still looking at the main dashboard.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I can see you in games.
Yeah.
And it says that you're upgrading. You've got Forza 4's running at 30 meg per second ish.
Yeah.
I take it, has that been going up? Because I know that your internet connection is a lot higher than that.
It's been going up and down all afternoon, which I think is probably caused by the fact that so many people have got this new console today and are probably all doing the upgrade at the same time.
Yeah, plus, to be honest, you're streaming in 4K, so that's going to drop while you're doing this anyway.
Well, yeah, there is that as well. But a lot of these games I did download prior to today. So like Gears Tactics, you were able to pre-download on Game Pass, even though it's out today.
Right.
So I'd already downloaded that to my external hard drive on the Xbox One. So all I had to do was transfer it today. But this game here, Bright Memory, and Observer System Redux,
okay,
those two games, when you go to buy them in the store on the Xbox One, they actually tell you that they are not compatible with the current Xbox One. So those two games are only for the Series X, the Series consoles. So I had to wait until today to be able to download those two.
Yeah. Mike has just put that he doesn't see the point yet to the upgrade. As a consumer, the games are out on the one that aren't any launch titles that are unique to the next gen. You have just said there are two, though. Bright Memory and Observer.
There are, yes. I mean, Observer is a remake of a game that came out very early last generation.
Okay.
It's the same developers who made the Blair Witch game and Layers of Fear.
Right.
And it's a cyberpunk horror thing starring Rutger Hauer.
Okay, but that's kind of got my attention now. You said it stars Rutger Hauer.
But they have got they have actually fully reskinned it and made it for the new generation of consoles.
Why did they never make a game of Blind Fury?
No idea.
The best Rutger Hauer movie.
And Bright Memory is a first-person shooter developed by a single person in Japan.
Okay.
And it has been available on the PC, but I don't think it was particularly not many people know about it. But it was when they showed it off in the initial Xbox lineup. When they showed it way back in June, or is it May or June that they did that? It was one of the first games that they showed off, and it looked incredibly spectacular. And then when they pointed out that it was a single person, it's like, wow, that's impressive. But perhaps the most impressive thing about it, perhaps the most interesting thing about it, as well, is the fact that it's only £6 to buy, which I was really surprised by.
Okay, £6 is good for a launch title in a next gen.
It is. It's not on. It's not on Game Pass, that one either. So that is one that you do have to buy.
Okay. So,
but
let's jump into a game then, because I'm sure it's what everybody would like to see.
Yeah.
So what have you got for us first?
Well, I'll boot up Bright Memory so you can have a quick look at that.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it might need me to pause the downloads.
We shall see. I do like that you have the console perched behind you.
Well, yeah.
Have you got something that we can compare it to for size?
Let me have a look. I'll show you how quickly the console boots up. Do we have a PlayStation 4 somewhere? Let me have a look. 1 second.
Right, okay. Funnily enough, now that you're actually trying to start the game on my screen, it does seem to be quite a bit of a lag here that I'm watching from. It suffers the same thing that the Xbox One suffers. Where, if you're trying to start a game, it doesn't always start.
No. So, PlayStation 4. This is the original PlayStation 4, not the PS4 Pro. Hold it next to it.
I'd say it's a bit embarrassing that they've not fixed that, to be honest.
So as you can see, it's about the same height as a PS4 if it was stood on its side.
And is that a PS4 Pro?
That's the original PS4. That's not the Pro.
Right. I'm trying to think how many PS4s you've got, because I've got one of your PS4s sat right in front of me now.
Well, that is a really old PS4. That one. I don't even think that one works anymore. But here we go. It does. It's not that heavy. I was quite surprised by that. I think it weighs about the same as the Xbox One X.
True has just said this is taking a while. It's a valid point. You've been rebooting for a while now. Did the console just turn off instead?
Oh yeah, I just turned it off.
Oh right, I thought you did a reboot.
So that's how quickly it gets back into the dashboard when you turn it back on again, which obviously you'll see in a minute.
Okay, it's fairly quick.
Now, what you'll notice when the game boots up is that it does actually say "Quick Resume" in the top right-hand corner, which is the feature that Microsoft have been talking about, the fact that games will remember exactly where you're up to, and that's even if you unplug it, carry it to somebody else's house, and plug it back in again.
Can I address Mike's interest in incentives to upgrade? Address his interests in incentives to upgrade. To be honest, Mike, knowing what you actually play, I don't think there's anything at the moment that has gone up to Series X Enhanced. No, I don't actually think there was much.
I don't think there are on either console, on either the Xbox or the PlayStation, any what you would call system seller games at the moment.
I'm very interested in Forza Horizon. Very interested in Forza Horizon, but that's because I'm a big fan of it anyway. So I would like to see what it's like when it's in all of its glory.
Because even the PS5 launch lineup, I wasn't a massive fan of the Spider-Man game. So Spider-Man Miles Morales looks very impressive, but it's not a game that I'm going to play for a lot. And the one game.
Hold on, Mike. Let me see what they were. I might have been eating minstrels at the time. I do apologise.
Talking about price changes dropping.
Right, predicting the price changes, the support will drop for one while the next gen's drop in price. And get new games, so what incentive are they upgrading yet? And then combine that with the next wave release, like every other old consoles had, going to Pro S versions, for example. Right, okay. That is an interesting one. Now, I've always had the first generation of each of the consoles.
These two worlds are connected, like a pair of twins.
Mainly because I believe in you buy what your mates have got.
The other
so with the
sacrifice.
Do you get a PlayStation? Do you get an Xbox? situation, which one's better, I've always gone with you don't buy what you just believe is better. I believe you buy what your friends have got. If you're going to play it online, there's no point you owning an Xbox before your mates are on the PlayStation. There's no point owning a PlayStation before your mates are on the Xbox. So I always believe buy what your mates have got.
Nothing else that I can see.
Daft concepts, but I'm sure some people will probably understand that. So I've always bought the first generations anyway because, well, like you're seeing now, Brian has got the Series X. I haven't, but I will be buying it purely so that I can play against my friends. I don't know anybody who's going for PS5 apart from Brian. So again, I don't think I'll go for a PS5 straight away, but I'll have to see how many other friends are getting it first. But that's always been my argument as to why you should always buy the first generation releases of the new console. As for upgrading them once the price drops come in, then again that's more personal choice. Now with the Xbox One, when it went off to the X or even the S, it was because they had 4K. Everybody was buying 4K TVs, so it made it worthwhile. Now I can't really see this one going that high. So the next generation consoles are going to probably be, what, 5 years, would you say, Brian?
At least.
At least 5 years, probably, yeah. So from now, you're looking at 5 years or so until they start to go, right, well, let's make it a bit smaller, let's make it possibly 8K. But then you're trying to predict now whether 8K is going to be out in 5 years or not. I mean, obviously, there are some sets out there, but silly prices at the moment. So again, it depends whether you're going to be wanting to wait the 5 years or not to try and hopefully, well, it's not hopefully, but get a console that's then going to have had 5 years worth of play that everybody else has had. So I would go with it. Now I wouldn't say just hold off for 5 years until you get the next upgraded consoles. I would say buy the first generation of any new console. But if you're not that bothered by it now because there's plenty of stuff you're currently playing, then maybe give it a year. Or until your friends have bought all of theirs. See who's
I think
first. If you're not too fussed about playing it, or you only play online, then yeah, you don't need to buy one now, in my opinion. Possibly in a year, see how many of your mates have got one. Or if in 6 months you've got all your mates going, well, we've got our Series X, where is yours? You can go, well, actually, I've just bought it 50 quid cheaper than you lot, and now I'm going to join you for the same games. If you wanted to wait, that is.
Could this be the floating island hidden at the North Pole? What's that light?
I mean, like I said, I'll probably end up with one fairly soon, I would imagine.
Have you read Kirsty's most recent comment?
No, I don't think my comments are coming through properly. No consoles come with huge incentives like games exclusive to the next gen, but it's not truly applying yet. To be honest, Mike, with newer consoles, you don't really get that many on launch. They come within the month or two afterwards.
Yeah, you never really get. You
only get a very small handful. Yeah. There's always a crossover between the old consoles and the new consoles on launch. So, God, what was it for the original Xbox to 360? You had I think the biggest title there was Most Wanted, wasn't it? Most Wanted.
One of the original Xbox was Halo. Halo.
Well, yeah, no, I mean the original. I'm talking about the crossover between the end of the Xbox and the start of the 360. To one, the upgrade. The games there were still fairly similar. It was Most Wanted, which there wasn't that much of a big difference between the two. And then the crossover between the 360 and the One, it was the Forza Horizon series.
Yes, but Forza Horizon 2 is available on both.
Yeah. They were made by different people though, weren't they?
They were.
They were made by different people. They were slightly different, but yeah. And what's this? Predicting tech trends near impossible, especially its tech ability and the highest. But yeah, you're literally trying to hold off. If you're trying to hold off buying the console, thinking, well, the smaller one's going to be out soon with the bigger upgrades. We don't know what the upgrades are going to be in 5 years' time. Not everybody's got 4K TVs yet. I mean, a lot do. I mean, to be honest, I've got a 4K TV, but I also have a 12-year-old LG TV that I call Old Faithful that's been dropped downstairs and still works. And that's on the fact that this console supports 8K is pretty much a moot point. Yeah, it may support it, but it depends how it's going to be done in 5 years or so. Maybe slightly. Well, it will be slightly bigger and better when they do it as part of the newer consoles, and make it smaller. I think most of the time it's going to be just they'll hide an upgrade into it just to try and sort its cooling out, to be honest. I mean, how is the console for cooling and heating? And
it's very quiet.
It's very quiet.
It's very quiet.
Unlike a PS4, which sounds like it's going to take off until the Pro came out.
But like you can barely tell it's turned on. There's hardly any noise, and the ventilation coming out the top. It's warm but not hot.
Right. So is it a console that can be on its side as well as stood up?
Yes, I would say it can.
Would it be better on its side than stood up?
But the stand that's on the bottom of it is not detachable.
It's not detachable, but even though that's where the airflow comes in from.
Yeah, the stand on the bottom is built into the unit.
Right.
And I think the air comes in at the back.
Oh, it comes in at the back. I thought it came up through the bottom.
No. Yeah, the air comes in from the back. There's ventilation on the back.
Right. So going back to launch titles, there's never really, for any launch of a new console, there's never really any vast amount of titles. It's always a very small It's always like a very small amount of titles that come out, and it's usually a crossover anyway. So in order to see roughly what it's capable of, I mean, to see what the console's properly capable of, you're looking at it in 10 years' time, when people have actually learning how to, or have finished learning how to deal with it.
Well, yeah, if you compare current Xbox One games with the games that came out at launch,
yeah,
it's like night and day.
Yeah, I think probably in about 5 months' time, you might be able to see some absolutely truly amazing stuff that the Xbox One definitely 100% would never handle. And to be honest, I still think they're going to end up going the same way that we're down the indie route with a lot of it.
Probably.
I mean, like you showed me earlier on today, the new Overcooked, that's just both games put into one.
Yeah,
isn't on the Xbox One. It is on the Series X.
Yeah,
there's no reason why at 40 quid. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever why the Xbox One can't handle that.
No.
Seek goodness everywhere, and when it is found, bring it out of its hiding place and let it be free and unashamed.
Now the game did jump around for me then.
In flesh.
I think that's more the stream than the game.
Yeah, I mean the stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, the stream did jump around for me then, so I would probably pause that Forza 4 download while you're doing this, and we might just have to come back to that tomorrow.
Oh, it's got only got 9 gig left to download now.
Maybe, but I'd still pause it.
Yeah, I've paused them.
In the time of your life, live.
No, but I think the whole quick resume thing is a bit of a gimmick, because how many people actually genuinely play 4 games at once?
True.
She'll smile.
I mean, it's good that it remembers where you're up to in the game that you're currently playing. You played 4 games ago, it will still remember where you were up to in that game.
Right. Handy for you, because I keep saying that you only play a few minutes of each game. You swap through a lot of games.
I like to play many games, yeah.
And the reason he does that, viewers, is because he does a lot of our videos. To get the videos out to you as quickly as possible, he does a lot of first play videos.
So I'm just giving you a quick look at Observer at the moment.
Yep.
Gowering.
It's currently on the title screen on my screen.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The one that's definitely not Blind Fury.
Which I'll try not to show too much of, what with it being a horror.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Dispatch, this is Azowski, ID 656210. Can anyone hear me?
So tomorrow evening, we're actually going to be playing Overcooked. Me, you,
Yes,
and Mike Modes. Will you be playing from your Series X?
I will, yes.
So we'll be able to see what it's like playing against somebody else who's on
This is
the one.
656210.
Yes.
Setting up a crime scene. I need to check the victim's compass for connections. 6 million volts.
Which I don't think will be an issue in any way.
HN.
No,
Gotta start somewhere.
it probably won't. It's just nice to play across generations.
ID check. Failed. Time of death.
Well, I will also be streaming some Assassin's Creed Valhalla from midday tomorrow as well.
Okay.
I'll be doing 2 hours of that from the Series X as well.
Erratic cutting pattern.
I believe you took a video of Horizon on the Xbox One, didn't you?
I did, yes.
So when we do finish the download later on, you'll be able to do the same course in the Series X.
Well, it wasn't a I didn't do a race. What I did was I recorded how long the game took to load from the dashboard all the way to the point where you take control of the car on the road.
Right.
Because on the Xbox One, that took just over 3 minutes.
Okay.
And on the Series X, it should take significantly less than that. Got no idea what this game's trying to tell me to do.
Don't know about anybody else, but I'm getting a little bit of anxiety watching that Series X perched like that on the on your Calyx unit. It looks like the corner of it's off.
That's not where it's not where it's going to be stored permanently. It's purely there just so that you can see it on the stream.
That's good. Does it fit inside a Calyx unit? That's a very important question, to be honest. Seeing as all my consoles are currently in a Calyx unit,
I think it might actually. I think it will fit, but I'm not sure how much ventilation there will be above it.
Right. That'll be interesting to know, though. So after the stream, could you take a photo of it inside a Calyx unit and post it to our Twitter?
I don't currently have a gap in the Calyx unit, but I can do it.
I think that should be a very important thing, because a lot of people...
Although, as Kirsty has just pointed out, the stand is actually fully on the shelf where it stood at the moment.
Right. Still a bit of anxiety for that. Yeah, a lot of people use Calyxes for TV stands.
They do.
And they use them for console stands.
Because they're nice and cheap.
They're cheap and they're pretty, and you get a decent amount of space. So it'd be interesting to know. I don't think anybody's actually pointed it out as whether it actually fits inside a Calyx or not.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, most of the pictures that I see from other establishments just shows it on a regular bookshelf or just stood on top of the TV unit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already planning on the space that I'm going to require for a PlayStation 5, because as you're probably aware, that is an absolute beast of a console in terms.
Yeah,
of size.
I'm not. I'm going to guess that's never going to fit inside a Calyx.
No.
That man might have to buy the digital version and stick it behind the TV.
Yeah, so that's going to have to go. That's going to have to go at the far end of my TV bench behind the TV.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's the only place it will fit. But one of the interesting features that this new console has, I'm not sure how well this is going to come across on a stream, but we'll try it anyway. It has a feature called Auto HDR.
Right.
Which applies HDR to games that were never made when HDR existed.
Oh.
So when you play the backwards compatible games, it makes the colours stand out more, and all the darks and lights, and so I'm going to load a bit of Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2 and see how that goes.
Why Geometry Wars?
Because the colours stand out really, really well in HDR on this one.
Okay.
Because I had a quick play on this one earlier as well.
I'd have thought maybe a racing game with some sky or something.
Although Geometry Wars is now not loaded.
Awkward. So it really does suffer from what the Xbox One has.
Oh yeah, it's got all the same. The dashboard
it doesn't start games and it crashes as you.
The dashboard is exactly the same, and so warts and all.
So are you streaming in HDR? I'm going to guess no.
The recording device does support it, but I don't know whether the streaming software does. I'm just trying to re-download the Forza again because I really don't get how this game works.
Or even wasn't Geometry Wars on the first Xbox?
Geometry Wars on the original Xbox was only a hidden extra on Project Gotham 2.
And they then ramped it up a bit, didn't they?
And they then made it a separate release for the release of the 360 on Xbox Live Arcade.
To be honest, since you started the stream, started downloading again, the stream's gone badly for me. I've just quit and gone back into it, so let's see. Just playing a bit now.
Yes, I'm not sure how the HDR is coming through, if at all, on the stream. Probably isn't.
Yeah, it's not.
But I do think one of those. I do think HDR is one of those things that not many people actually genuinely notice.
Yeah, the stream is dropping quite a lot, Brian.
And well, I need this Forza downloading so I can do my comparison.
Yeah, not during the stream though.
Yes, I do. I need, because my comparison is for during the stream. That's how I set it up for earlier today.
Yeah, I'll have to do it tomorrow.
Right, let's see if there are any games that it did manage to upgrade for me earlier. I don't think it did. I think the only games that it has actually managed to download and upgrade for me today are Tetris Effect Connected and the Falconeer. So I'll have a load of the Falconeer.
God, I think the stream's a couple of minutes lag between it now.
But do you remember an old Xbox game called Crimson Skies
Oh yeah,
that was on the original Xbox?
yeah, I remember it. I think we still own it, don't we?
I think it is available on backwards compatibility. We've probably got it somewhere. But the Falconeer is the gameplay is very similar to that.
Okay.
It's just whereas in Crimson Skies you were flying around in planes, in this you're flying around on the back of a giant eagle or falcon.
We all feel drawn to huddle behind the strong, to abdicate our safety to those who go onwards without fear. Their flames, fuel for stories and virtuous heroes. How brightly did your flame burn? A good position amongst several currents makes Dunkel a favored stop for traders seeking to circumvent. Imperial, choose now what stories and
Attention applicants, your Empress needs you. Many of you first, third, for the final, the Empress has an appointment at her thunder. Morning, Greenhorn. Let's see you fly that warbird. Start off with a slow dive. Chop chop.
It just threw me out of the video then to show me an advert.
Diving accelerates your bird and generates energy for special maneuvers. Your bird is energized for dashes and rolls. Show me a strong dash. Now let me see some evasive rolling. You can do this by dashing while turning. Now I want you to do a flyby of the Imperial Harbor, recording its precise location.
Now, this is also one of the few games that supports 120 frames a second if you have a monitor that can handle it.
Weapons free! Be careful. That's live ammunition and those balloons are expensive.
But then that means playing it on a PC monitor.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some 120.
Although when I
TVs
plugged in
out
the
there.
when I plugged in the HDMI cable to my TV, and it automatically like checks what your TV is capable of. It said that my TV was not capable of 4K at 120 frames a second, but it says it was capable at 1440p at 120.
Oh, okay.
Which is what the Xbox Series X supports. And the other games that support 120 frames a second, I think, are Dirt 5, Gears 5, but only the multiplayer,
Yeah.
and The Tourist.
That's not really one to show it off, though, is it?
No, the Tourist is a great game, but it's not a graphical showcase.
Glowing at the back of your bird. Perhaps you will make it to the guards after all. At the next waypoint, we'll practice targeting and focusing. There is a barge up ahead. Find it and stay locked on.
Cannot see anything.
The barge has a turret. Consider it a sub-target. Lock onto that for accuracy. Not bad. Now open fire, destroy the turret and the ship. Keep your eyes on the target for each pass. Excellent. There is another barge up ahead. This time, we'll destroy it by bombing. Now pick up a floating mine. Aim your bird down and break at the same time. If you are close enough, your bird will grab a mine. Now, when in range, drop it onto the barge. But don't get too close. Not too shabby. Let's head back to the palace.
Okay, the tutorial didn't actually tell you that holding down the left bumper actually makes you fly faster.
Warbirds near the Imperial flagship.
It's kind of important.
Pirate side wager. Weapons free. Use deadly force.
So is there a reason why you're playing it on looking at the TV and not the monitor?
On the monitor, it's too dark.
Track the target,
On the
aim
TV,
ahead
I can
in
see
their
everything.
trajectory, and roll your bird to avoid incoming fire.
So I think as we're going to be doing the streams tomorrow at, well, all week, isn't it, at 12 noon?
I'm doing a different game every day at noon. Yeah.
Different game every day at noon. As the downloads haven't gone so well today, because obviously everybody's got the console and it's going to keep slowing down and things like that. You've got Dirt 5 and Forza still to download.
I'm also going to have to set the upgrade for Assassin's Creed downloading overnight as well.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is if we cut the stream off at 9 o'clock, give the console time to actually get the rest of the things, rest of the updates ready for starting to do the streams throughout the week, then you can actually bring people the content of the games with the actual upgrades to them.
Death is meaningless for us all. Now we can be reborn from the depths.
Well, I do have a
Memories retained
like I say, I do have
splinters of
the
our
comparison
fractured
to do with Forza.
self. But we fear the
Yeah.
That'll be quite.
That
I think
which
that'll be quite
remains tied
interesting to
to
show
us.
people.
You must
Yeah,
become
I
the
would
other. Relive
still
the
probably
lives of
take
those
a
lost.
video of a single race, so people can see the graphics as opposed to just the loading times.
In order to discover the truth, we must start at the
I
beginning.
mean, we've been putting up with the loading times at 3 minutes
A
or so
first heartbeat will grow into
for a few years.
consequences.
We have.
It'd be nice to have it a lot quicker, but I do think we want to see the graphics.
A good position amongst
A
several
good
currents
graphics
makes
comparison.
Dunkel a favored stop
I'm
for
interested in the
traders
graphics
seeking
comparison
to
anyway. I don't know about anybody
circumvent
else.
Imperial tariffs. A natural harbour, Dunkel
Well,
has survived longer than many other settlements
you mentioned
along the
earlier
fringes of Imperial control, and both
about how you're not getting the console just yet.
Yeah.
Could probably point out at this point because I've just received an email.
Oh.
To tell you that that's not actually true.
Oh. That's exciting.
There's a Xbox Series X on its way to me that will be here in 48 hours.
Oh, wow.
And that's for you.
Expecting that.
And that's yours.
Oh, thank you very much. Bloody hell.
From UKGN.
Thank you very much. That's truly exciting.
because obviously with today being launch day, there was miraculously more stock suddenly appeared from somewhere.
Oh yeah. Well, that's very impressive. Thank you very much.
So when I went on the game website earlier, I was able to do the upgrade of Xbox All Access.
Excellent. Well, then we'll be.
So no doubt, no idea how I'm going to get that to you yet, but I'm sure we can arrange something.
Yes, I'm sure we can figure something out. That's truly exciting. Well, then I will be joining you in some multiplayer streams.
Yes.
I will. I'll be joining you in some multiplayer streams this week. I mean, there'll be obviously I can only do multiplayer after 8.
Well, Dirt 5, I'm saving.
Child issues.
Yeah, Dirt 5. I'm actually saving for my Sunday driving stream this week. But my plan is to do a bit of Assassin's Creed tomorrow.
Yeah.
What other games did I plan to stream? I was going to do a lot more of the Falconeer that I just showed you there. I was probably do a full 2 hours of that.
Yeah.
I need to play a bit more of Bright Memory to actually work out if it's worth doing 2 hours worth of that.
Nice.
But I also have there's all these games here that are all the like Gears Tactics. I could do that for a couple of hours. Watchdogs Legion. I've already done a live stream of that on the Xbox One, but I will do a comparison video of that one to show what it now looks like with ray tracing on it.
Nice. Yes, that's what we want to see. We want to see how it's going with the newer graphics.
Because obviously, with all the buildings in London that are covered in windows, ray tracing might work wonders for that game. And obviously, it rains a lot, so there'll be a lot of puddles. But yeah, make sure you tune back in at midday every day this week. Planning on doing one tomorrow, one on Thursday, one Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday as well.
And one on Sunday as well. Yeah, I mean we still have the.
I'm sure I'll find something to play
in the evenings.
Yeah, yeah. That's
not tomorrow because we've got tomorrow we've got Overcooked with
tomorrow.
Mike
Yes.
Moons.
But yeah, that was an interesting first look at the console for you anyway. Shame that the updates didn't download in time before the start of the stream.
I've got that to look forward to this week, have I? Lots and lots of upgrading. That's very exciting. I'm going to be playing multiplayer with you this week then. I do believe that your Discord has gone again. Hold on, everybody. He will be back.
Not sure what the last thing you heard was.
I can't remember. I was too busy watching the stream again, so I've been listening to it on the stream, and then it just suddenly stopped. I can't remember.
Right,
We were playing Overcooked with Mike Moans.
Yes, that's tomorrow night at 8 p.m. But we'll leave this stream here for today.
Yep.
Apologies for the technical issues, and hopefully we'll see you every day at noon for another Series X game each day.
Excellent.
Okey-dokey.
Yes, I'll see you. I'll come watch yours at 12 noon, and then we've got the arcade at 8. So yeah, we've got double streams every day.
We have.
Yep.
It's an exciting, busy week.
Excellent.
Okey-doke.
Well then, bye everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evenings.
Yes. Bye bye.